A man who's been fighting the reckless dumping of used vehicle tyres for years says he can't wait for a proper disposal system to finally be put in place. A new government scheme will see about 60% of old tyres used as biofuel to make cement, and companies would get council consent for stockpiles of more than 2,500 tyres. That's music to the ears of Patrick Lynch, who's been fighting to stop illegal or just plain chaotic dumping of used tyres for years. Here's Eric Frickberg.
5 million vehicle tyres are discarded in New Zealand each year. A few are reused, but many end up in landfills, dumped on roadsides or heaped in huge piles, leaching contaminants and blighting the landscape. Patrick Lynch, who handles this issue nationally from his office in Hamilton, describes one egregious case of tyre dumping at Tyre near Huntly.
The landowner there would run a put a lot of tyres under the ground.
Patrick Lynch says this man was paid a few dollars per tyre to take them off people's hands. He dumped about 1 million of them illegally, then vanished overseas.
We've got a 20-tonne digger digging down 5-6 metres into the ground and just drawing out hundreds of tyres that have just been buried right down into the water table. And then around the site there were mounds of many thousands of tyres.
In a bid to address this problem, the government is proposing controls on new tyre stockpiles. Local government approval would be needed for stockpiles of more than 2,500 used tyres. Environment Minister Nick Smith says tyre piles pose many risks.
The first is the leachate. The contaminants are picked up in the water and that makes its way into the aquifers, the rivers, the lakes. The second problem, accidentally a fire gets started and you have the nightmare for the fire service. You also get mosquitoes, and then there's just the straight aesthetics.
Dr Smith's plan to fix this will send 60% of old tyres to special plants for shredding and then ship them to Golden Bay Cement near Whangarei. There, the rubber will burn at high temperature, displacing coal as a fuel and saving 13,000 tonnes of CO2 emissions each year. The government is paying $19 million to make this scheme work. Welcoming it is a senior fire service executive, Esitoni Paonga, who says rubber fires are very hard to deal with.
The most challenging thing for us is getting access, because quite often these piles of tyres are in rural and large outdoor spaces, so there's no road access. There are chemicals involved with tyres, and then when they do catch fire there's a breakdown to their basic levels, and then toxicity definitely is in there.
Getting rid of these heaps of tyres before they catch fire is sometimes little more than a game of musical chairs. Patrick Lynch explains one such case involving 140,000 tyres and an unscrupulous man.
He leased a property in central Hamilton, stockpiled these tyres and walked away. Hamilton City Council did what they thought to be the right thing at the time and had them removed. Unfortunately, the company that did the removal essentially just moved the problem to other areas, Waihi Beach and Kawerau.
Some surplus tyres are already used for artificial playing surfaces, and Dr Smith is funding several other recycling projects as well. For Checkpoint, Ko Eric Frickberg, Tene.